Hello and welcome back. Just hold up. Something's not right here. All right, let's try that again. Hello and welcome back to the Rope Access and Climbing Podcast. I'm your host, Mikey Stevenson, and today I'm going to be talking to you about 2020 and what a year it's been. If this is your first time here, please make sure to subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. So stay tuned. Step into your harness and get ready for a podcast about the vertical world. All right, well, welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning into today's episode. Yes, I am talking about 2020. This was the year that everybody thought it was going to be amazing. Little did we know. Well, it is what it is. We just got to live with it, keep moving forward, and we need to respect one another. So, anyways, exclude that. Let's talk about it. Okay, so for me specifically, the biggest thing here is I just want to say thank you to each and every single one of you. For me, on the side of my podcast and my YouTube channel, it's been an absolute phenomenal year, and I can't say thank you enough to you, the listeners and the viewers here on my platform. So, kind of dive back 1 year ago and let's just talk about what got me here. All right. So I just wanted to share this with you and just kind of, have a little chat, if you will. So 1 year ago, I was working in the field and I took an interest in podcasts. At this time, I was kind of, doing some supervision work and it was pretty slow in some cases. So, just pop in a podcast, listen, and just kind of, do your thing. At this time, I was looking for some sort of, podcast about the vertical world, rope access, rope rescue, anything really to just kind of pass time, if you will. I did stumble across the Ronin Rescue podcast. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend it. Go check them out wherever you get your podcasts. They're absolutely phenomenal, and they have some amazing conversations over there. But moving on, for me, I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into. I didn't really know what was involved with making a podcast. At the end of the day, I was like, can't really be that hard. I'm an instructor. I like to talk. You turn a microphone on and just put it on the internet, right? That's what it was. So here we are, January, first week of January, and I put out my first episode. It almost turned into like a New Year's resolution, if you want to say it. Absolutely was not planned that way. It just kind of turned out that way. And, my concept was, okay, I'm going to put out a new episode every other week and just kind of see where it goes. My goal was to kind of just have someone listen to it, get some value out of it. And, as long as I seen some sort of, momentum, I would keep going. So, at the end of the day, if I had one person listen to my podcast, one person take some, knowledge out of it and make value out of it, I'm going to keep going. Well, here we are a year later, and I'm still putting out podcasts, and I can't thank you enough. But a lot has happened in this calendar year, and it's been an interesting ride, to say the least. So here we are, January 1st, moving onwards, still working in the field, and it's Canada. It's cold. It's winter. It's all sorts of no fun. But we still got to do our jobs and still got to put a roof over our heads, right? So, still putting out podcasts every other week. January, February, going into March, and, March 12th is the day that the world decided to shit on its own head. It is what it is. It absolutely sucks, but hey, here we are. So what's so significant about March 12th? So if you don't know, I am a professional photographer, videographer, and drone pilot. I primarily photograph and shoot CrossFit as a sport. That's kind of my niche. So if you haven't checked out my photography business, head over to Mikey Stevenson Photos. You can kind of find me everywhere there. But so here we are, March 12th. I'm in Montreal, Canada, and this is when the rug got ripped out from underneath us. We have athletes sitting in the stands. We have vendors setting up at this event. We have the competition floor half done. And then the government decided to just shut us down. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's just like, nope, you're done. Absolutely devastating situation. So, a couple hours into this, things are changing on the hour-to-hour basis, heck, even minute-to-minute basis. And, there's so much uncertainty. Even in these hours, they're already started talking about, the Canadian-United States border being closed. So we have American athletes at this competition, and they're starting to freak out, and they're like, oh no, like we need to get back to the United States. Flights are starting to get canceled. The airlines don't really know how to deal with this massive influx of random people trying to get out of Montreal. It was chaos, really, it was. Needless to say, fast forward 4 days, I finally make it back home. So this is March 16th. So I get home. This is the day that my entire year as a photographer, videographer absolutely got erased. So I show up, I have emails, I have voicemails from all these clients and stuff, and everything is evaporated. I really didn't know what was happening. Nobody really knew what was happening. So, back to the thought there, it's chaos. Now, I'm at home. I traveled in from out of province, and at this point, they've already implemented a 14-day quarantine because of travel. So no matter what I did or how I looked at it, I was still stuck at home for 14 days. This is the beginning of lockdown 1.0. Wait, what? 1.0? Are you right? Are you sure about that? Yes, 1.0. You'll understand soon enough. Anyways, here I am. I'm locked down for 14 days. Now we're looking at the 1st of April. Keep in mind, I am a photographer, videographer, so I have a lot of this camera media equipment already, right? Obviously. So I thought, heck, I have all this time. I have no idea when I can go back to work. I have all this equipment, and what am I going to do with myself? Might as well keep myself occupied at home. So I started my YouTube channel. First week of April, first episode went out. And, just like my podcast, I had zero expectations. I had no idea that anyone would even listen to anything I had to say. And then there's the other side of things. How do you get your message out? So, 1 week after another, you put out a new video on YouTube. Keep in mind, it's an alternating schedule between YouTube podcast and a YouTube tech talk or an acceptable, unacceptable. And that's continued ever since. So every single Sunday, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I put out a new video on YouTube, or a podcast every other week. That schedule has stayed the same from the beginning of the year. Well, in this time, keep in mind, we're still in lockdown, so nobody really has anything going on. I have talked about things that I have found and seen in the field. I've talked about things that I've found and seen in training. Um, I've talked about things that I've seen online, photos online or posts online. I have interviewed some amazing people in this space from different industries. So, it's been amazing for me. We're still in lockdown 1.0 until about the middle to end of June. Okay. At the end of this lockdown, they're talking about the second wave. It's going to be worse than the first wave. Nobody really knows. What does that look like? Just like anything else, it's things are changing so drastically. Sometimes it's very difficult to keep up with the constant changes. Anyways, my podcast YouTube channel is, still moving forward, is what it is. Still making content for you every single week. A lot of the topics that I've talked about have not necessarily come from me, but also from you suggesting things of topics that you would like to hear about. And you are joining in on the conversation. This is extremely helpful for me and the channel, as, there's so many different things out there that we can talk about. And, there's so many different perspectives on everything that we do. In the rope access industry here in North America, we can start training again. Well, that's positive for the rope access industry, as, we've been upwards of 3 months of no training. IRATA and SPRAT have had to, make variations to their certification schemes. How are they going to deal with this? IRATA started with a 90-day, certification extension as providing that the technician applied for that. SPRAT allowed the technicians to continue working even with an expired certification, as long as there was no training available. But then those extensions and variations have kind of disappeared as training has opened. A lot of other training and a lot of other situations and industries within the vertical world were heavily affected as well. There's no denying it. We are not in this all together. Everyone's in different parts of their lives, but we still have to respect one another. Moving onwards, lockdown 2.0. Yeah, I did say it. Lockdown 2.0. Here in Alberta, lockdown 2.0 started mid-December. There's been some other provinces that have been in lockdowns for, upwards of a month already. So depending on where you're at, your restrictions may vary drastically. In parts of the United States, there are no lockdowns. So, everyone's in a different situation slightly. Yes. Wait, what? It's December 19th, 2020. So this week is when we went into lockdown 2.0 here in Alberta. There are things that are limited. Rope access training is still happening. Rope access work is still happening. There are restrictions on group sizes and what you can do inside and who has to work at home, all that stuff. But, here we are, looking forward to 2021 when things hopefully will get better. Obviously, everyone's in a different situation. So at the end of the day, for me, myself, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about you. I cannot thank you enough for how much, I have received from you, the personal messages, the emails, You contacting me and asking questions about certain things. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot thank you enough. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I enjoy every day that I get to create this content for you. I enjoy what I do, and every time that you make a comment on a video or on a podcast, it resonates. It's awesome. I don't know how to really put it in words besides thank you. 2021 is a new year. Let's look forward to that. It's only around the corner. I want to say, have a happy holidays out there. It's that time of the year. Enjoy it. Take it for what it is. Stay positive. Keep your chin up. Any of that sort of stuff. Because for me, you've been that resource for me. So thank you very much. It's been amazing, and I cannot wait until 2021 where we get to jump into this all over again. So yeah, that's all I got to say. All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning into today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Let me know what episodes you enjoyed this year here on the podcast or YouTube channel, and what you would like to see in the new year. All right. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, as I do put out new content every Sunday, as I stated before. And follow us wherever you get your podcasts, as these will be continuing. And it's all because of you. And I'll see you in the new year.